Really impressed with this lady, and she said something really, really important. Listen to what she has to say about, and this is true for so many things.
They can't marry me because I'm the skank, right? The Camilla,
Yes.
she was a skank, so she couldn't marry Prince Charles. So she knew, just go ahead and do what you got to do. I know this is all a game. Just go do it, you know? So it's like your mindset, like where you are in life, determines how you're playing the game, y'all. How are you playing the game?
That's true. So she said if she was older, she would be more like Camilla, who was like, it's okay, do whatever you want, I'm waiting. And Deanna was a bit impulsive. But she has to understand it's not just the age, it's the personality. This is what why it's called personality disorder. The impulsivity and this throwing away things that Diana had, the way she was just like, okay, let's get a divorce. Harry, let's just leave the royal, let's just leave UK. Let's just follow this woman I hardly know. Um, it's impulsivity that is a character flaw or personality flaw that dictates. It's not just maturity. I don't believe that Deanna would have been different whether she was 19. Yes, of course, it's easier for a 19-year-old to be impulsive, but it's also her personality, in my opinion, anyway.
And it's so crazy is that the older you get, the better you become at the game.
I'm not sure. But let's hope.
The better you become at this game of life.
Like that's why Megan is so good.
And so for all you young girls out there, you don't get what I'm saying. You be like, huh? No, you didn't say he should have an affair. No, you didn't. Look, young girl. I know this game a lot better than you. I've been around, I've seen a lot of things. So maybe years from now, you'll look back at this and you'll say, oh, I get what she was saying now. It's all how you play the game.
And maybe Megan is just really, she's older, she's been around, and she knows how to play the game. But unfortunately, Harry is the Princess Diana here, and Megan is sort of like, let me see. Good question. Who is Megan in this game? Is she Camilla? It's sort of like Diana and Camilla got together in this lesbian relationship. This is what it's turned out. Yes, it is. Megan is Camilla and Harry is Diana.
So you got these older mindsets, younger mindsets clashing. You got marriage, you got babies, you got royalty, you got money, you got power, you got all this stuff thrown into the mixture of life. And it's like, what you gonna play? What's your hand? What you gonna do? You gonna move here? You gonna move here? What you gonna do? Roll that dice. What you got? What am I gonna do? That's what it is. And what we see now with the Royals is we get to watch it. We get to watch how they're playing the game. The production has said that it has not yet been commissioned by Netflix. However, it does get picked up by streaming services. It is likely to be a blow to Meghan and Harry. The Sussexes have allegedly been in discussion with Netflix over future projects. Really? Parent company of DSP said this is not a commissioned show. A TV source said of the project, the Royals will refuse to take part, as will the Spencer family. William and Harry will be very upset and angry. It particularly distressing for Harry because he's been working with Netflix. Oh, interesting. So Harry's been working with Netflix. And now Netflix is going to do a documentary about the death of his mother or the life of his mother. So he's probably not happy with that. And I do remember him saying something that he was not going to work with any company that brought a bad light onto the royal family. And it might be also the case, anyone that does anything about his mother, he may not want to work with them. So that's probably what they're talking about. They're in discussions with Netflix about future projects. They're going to be making some documentaries, or they may be doing some things where they reveal maybe Prince Harry's life while they were going through the divorces or something. I can imagine Meghan putting her hands in something with Prince Harry's life during that time, because she's going to try to find.
For me, it's really weird that people like Meghan and Harry are writing books about their lives. I mean, who do they think they are? Buddha? Jesus? Some sort of a wise person? I mean, it reminds me of a yoga teacher I had. Oh my God, he had so many books. He would just copy and paste from all these different yoga books. And he would be, I published 12 books. That man couldn't phrase a sentence together. And you can see that imbeciles are writing books. And it used to be that publishing a book was an act of like winning a Nobel Prize. Not everybody could publish a book, you know, and now any idiot that knows how to do cut and paste can publish a book. And as for Harry and Meghan, I mean, I couldn't care less. And as far as being upset about his mother's death, well, I think there's such a thing as getting over things, and if you can't, you should be in therapy. And I don't know about LA, but there should be at least one good therapist around there. And if I was Harry, I'd sign up for sessions with a good analyst, just like every day, instead of throwing that ball to the Labrador. Or in addition, just lay on the couch and just go to therapy and work those issues. Go to hypnosis, anything, but get over things. You're a father now, and you need to stand up to things. I'm just watching a Greek tragedy though unfold, because these people have this character flaws, like Meghan and her greed, and Harry and his Diana kind of victim type, like, you know, because what we can see is Meghan plays the victim, but she's not at all a victim. She's one of those. She's like a tractor driver. She's like rolling over everybody. She's rolling over everybody. She's like, big wheels keep on turning. And Harry is actually the victim. He's like Diana. She was just like, she just looked for disasters to happen to her. It was only a question of time before something would happen to her. She was self-destructive. And unfortunately, I can see that in Harry, because of the choices of marriage as well. When you marry somebody who's really damaging to you, and instead of thriving, they're like squashing you and running you down. It's a tragic scene. It's like a Greek tragedy is unfolding.
Her way into anything that's going to put her in a position of a production that has to do with the royal family. So Prince Edward did a documentary where he narrated the other Prince Edward of the family, the royals, and it was really good. So if you haven't seen it, I would recommend you check it out. He did a pretty good job. I think he did it with his own production company that he had. He no longer has it. Oh, I will leave the link to this article in the description below. So if you want to read it and maybe make a comment, maybe you'll find out some information and you can leave it and we can know, okay, when the documentary.
So I really like this one, likability. Is it racism? Which production was this? You've got so much stuff on YouTube. Most of it is bullshit. And if you don't mind me saying this, sorry. We have so many commercials in this country, and I don't know how to edit. Well, I'm saying is, EU, if you're boycotting Israeli products, it's also Arabs are going to suffer. So, who did this one?
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I just want to say thank you to everyone who is supporting this channel. And
so this woman is called, let me see again, just so I can recommend her channel. She's called P. Dina, and let me tell you, she's the real deal. A lot of people just seem to be like had a hard day, and they just pick up. I mean, if you look at the headlines, there's so many ridiculous stories about the royal family, divorce. It's not really Archie. They're duplicates. It's like almost like science fiction. And what's good about this woman, she really understands human beings. She's clearly a fan of the royal family, and she clearly doesn't want racism to the racism card Meghan is playing. She clearly, she's exposing all this nonsense about oh, racism, racism. Surely there is racism. Surely there is racism, but not at the amounts that can explain why so many people dislike Megan. I think it's just the way she's just taken over, and it seems like Harry is being held for ransom. And I think I've picked up on a good point. It is like a classic Greek tragedy where a person has a personality flow that causes them, that determines their fate. Just like Oedipus had to find out the truth about his mom, and that he married his mother. He had this problem that he always had to know the truth. And it's just like me, for instance. I'm always having a hard time faking. I can't be anywhere and just sit with idiots and just say, oh, this is okay, which is why I couldn't complete my teaching certificates. I can't just sit around with people knowing the studies I'm doing, the hours I'm spending have nothing to do with teaching in the real world, and knowing that um, just I'm really not interested in taking the English language and dissecting. It's just, for me, language is art. It's not science, and I really hate linguistics. Maybe if I was in my undergraduate, I would put up with a lot of nonsense. This is the problem of academia. But I have a personality flow, and it's what makes me more artist than anything else, because I have different parts. Um, it's like Harry. Harry is like, there's a problem. He's like the boy that's very easily, he gets in trouble because he follows the naughty boy. He's following the one who he shouldn't be following. He doesn't have a strong character, and what he could have, and he doesn't really have a family that could support him. William is busy with his own thing, and there's nobody there for Harry. And I would think that it's the combination of Harry being very weak and being obsessed with his mother's death and having a lot of her characters and her self-destruction. And I think he's like a ticking bomb. And as for Megan, I think she's like the driver. If you take Diana and her, I don't know, Diana or Deanna, let me know how to pronounce it. If you look at that, um, Megan is like the driver who crashed the car, and Harry is like Diana. And I think it's only a matter of time before that car is going to crash. And I don't think it's the media who's to blame, but it's going to be just the personalities. And so this is another great video to watch. Meghan Markle's likability
Just
and
really,
racism.
I'm really enjoying this whole coming together and talking about the things that we are seeing, because it's a way to express ourselves and to talk about the things that we are seeing that are happening with Meghan and Harry.
Because it has to do also with our lives. And I'm sure the royal family, there was a wonderful comedy show in BBC called The Royal Family. And it took just a simple British family, and you could see, they had like the grandmother was the queen, and different people had different roles. And it's just the way the royal family is actually made out of prototypes. Every family has these types of people, I think, more or less. And sometimes it's a combination of people that causes tragedy. And the big tragedy of the royal family is that people take them so seriously and give them so much money of taxpayers. That is the big tragedy, really. And I think also it's a big tragedy on YouTube. It's more or less divided into very, 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 very few and fewer YouTube supporters, and they will do anything, trust me, to like, oh, they donated trees to make Archie Woods in upstate New York. Great, now everything is forgiven. It doesn't matter that you wasted so much money breaking every rule. At the biggest crisis that UK has had since World War II, instead of supporting, you just belittled and added oil to the fire and just ignored your entire family in the biggest crisis, and with such examples of shitheads all around. So, what is happening there is happening. That's what my therapist used to say. What's happening here is happening in the real world. What's happening in therapies happening in the real world. What's happening between Harry and Meghan and the world and their families is happening between a lot of dysfunctional families, except that other people have to worry about making a living and they don't have taxpayers to fund them. And I think it's time for a British Revolution, a British Boston Tea Party, a British French Revolution, a British Russian Revolution. The British people have been too docile and too accommodating. Isn't it about time you got rid of the royals? I'm not saying execute them, but can't you just just cut them off, snip, snap, cut them off, let them make a living, you know. I'm sure Charles can get a job as a librarian or something. Camilla can, I don't know, be a horse riding instructor. I don't know. They can all get jobs and finish this whole travesty, just and be like a real democracy for a change. I think that would be great. Anyway, peace, light, and love. But of course, who's going to suffer is the tabloids and all those magazines that spend so much time in nonsense making photos of these horse-faced people that have no talents or nothing. And Diana was the big star, or Diana, but besides her, they're very unattractive, unexceptional. There's nothing exceptional about them. They're just really mediocre, even below mediocre. So anyway, I love this channel because she's so real, and peace, light, and love.